Hi. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that you're here. This just came out. Did you get your copy yet? How about I give you a little tiny sample of what you might love in here? Yeah? Can I? There is so much imagery in the different sects of witchcraft. These symbols, sigils, or signs all play a part depending on how you want to practice. Are you drawn to the pentacle, the runic alphabet, tarot, the sigils of deities, or more intentional application of sigils in intuitive magic, generally referred to as chaos magic? There is such a plethora of possibilities available that I often suggest new witches find their path slowly and patiently. I mentioned earlier about the harm that can be caused through cultural appropriation in witchcraft. This idea that we can take and use anything we find interesting and that it will work for us. This entitled mindset can and will always stunt our magical growth. When we mindlessly mimic what we've seen or read about in an entertainment outlet in lieu of listening to the warnings of older communities of practitioners and neglecting to do the research necessary, we're not practicing in a way that will further our power. We're instead falling into a distraction that will lead to an emptiness and inauthenticity. When we see the term closed practice, it's wise to heed the warning. Do the research and take it to heart. There is so much to explore, practice, learn, and craft from energy that we are welcome to use. Ancient lines of power that are waiting for us to tap into lest we get distracted from them. When we are put into the vessels we are in now, these bodies, they come with a rich history and lineage. Although we are all connected in time, energy, universe, and soul, the bodies we occupy right now are the ones we're here to learn with. These vessels are to be experienced in an inclusive way, to love all, to see past our differences, and to fight and demand equality on a social basis. But our magic, culture, rituals, and practices should be sacred, respected, and honored. I will protect, uplift, fight for, and love my voodoo sisters and brothers, Santeria sisters and brothers, indigenous sisters and brothers, etc., but I will not make sacred and closed practices as my own, as that magic is not meant for me in this time and in this vessel. Intuitive witchcraft is finding your true path, not because it makes you feel unique, special, different, or worthy, but because it's right. You already are unique, special, different, and worthy, long before the idea of starting or restarting your craft was put onto your path. There are plenty of neutral ways to start a scheduled, ritualistic practice as you settle into your intuition, learn more about your cultural traditions, and eventually allow your methods to grow and blossom around you. One such way that I find to be the most accessible and inclusive, fucking guess, is the lunar cycle. Humans have been staring at the moon since, well, humans have existed. There is a scientific magic to the presence of the moon when it comes to how our Earth orbits the sun. Without our moon as a sort of stabilizer, it could very well threaten the development of life on this planet. On a less dramatic scale, the moon controls the tides, the oceans, migrations, and navigation of animals. Even the coral and the Great Barrier Reef rely on moonlight to spawn. Our moon's gravitational pull that dictates the changing tides is the strongest around the full and the new moon phases. With humans being 70% water, it's no wonder we find heightened emotional changes around this time. If you are a person with a uterus who has a menstrual cycle, you can find synchronicities between the lunar cycle and your own. Connecting with the lunar cycle in some way gives you so many opportunities for intentional magic. crafts, divination, manifestation, cleansing, and more. The moon phases. The main phases of the moon are typically the full moon, the new moon, quarter moons, waning and waxing gibbous, and waning and waxing crescent moon phases. We can use the time between each phase for more planned and scheduled daily activities to ramp up the energy and power for the next phase. Depending on what your intention is, the cycle you're working with can be anywhere from 15 to 30 days. Things like manifesting, growth, and goal setting can perhaps start on a new moon and work until the full moon. If you want to find consistency in your practice or do something that requires the 30 days needed to start a habit, it's useful to work an activity for a complete phase cycle of the moon. New to new, full to full, quarter to quarter, so on. These longer periods of phase work can be facilitated and organized greatly with a special calendar, a journal, or perhaps your grimoire. The type of magic under each phase varies, but they relate to the path that the moon is taking, so they are very easy to work with, and a great practice for new witches or witches that need more regular focus. I personally identify as a lunar focus witch with a seasonal flair. As for the phases themselves, the magic within each, we can break down the major phases into 8 with a bonus, starting with the new moon. And I go through all the phases, talk about different things that you can do under them. Very simple, very palatable. Dark Moonlight. It is available right now by me, Lauren Hellekson. Happy mooning. I like mooning.